Welcome to the Digital Thread. I'm Cassandra Yocum, your host, and today I have NV5 with me, Dan and David. Welcome.
Thanks very much for having us.
So I want to ask you guys about the different use cases, because you had a variety of different use cases you had for the digital twin. I think more than I've ever seen. Can you just go into depth about a few of those?
Yeah, sure. So I think the world's getting increasingly competitive, and that's true for pretty much any industry. And what we've found is that we're quite results focused with our clients. Everything that we do, anything that we try to implement has to have a key outcome or a key benefit for our clients. So some of the use cases that we've been talking to our clients about and trying to solve include the ability to look at thermal comfort within a space and use the heat mapping capabilities within Tandem to analyze whether you've got any hot spots, cold spots. Critical for places like casinos where you're really concerned about thermal comfort. Then we're able to look at things like conveyances at airports and identify whether they're operating or not operating. I think a lot of airports struggle with that as a challenge. Many major airports will have up to 300, 350 conveyances, and they don't actually have ways of tracking whether they're operating or not. So we're able to use Tandem to actually visualize that, so somebody's able to pull the data from our analytics platform, see whether something's operating or not operating, and very quickly see that the conveyance has gone red. That means that it's off, and then they can send somebody out to correct that issue. We've been talking to a few of our clients about other challenges that might not be at the forefront of other people's minds, where they're paying a maintenance crew to come out and clean trash receptacles. So they're looking for ways to actually monitor the trash level within those bins to determine whether they need to actually be replaced or whether they're replacing them ahead of schedule without a need. So we're using various types of sensors, pulling that information into our analytics platform, and then again visualizing that in Tandem. And that's quite nice because it has added benefit not just from a cost perspective, but it also improves their sustainability.
I would like to learn a little bit more about your analytics capabilities. Can you go into depth about that?
We have a platform. Essentially, it allows us to connect up to tens of thousands of data points within a building. We can analyze all that information continuously to determine whether there's any opportunities for energy savings. Very good results from it. We typically save a client somewhere between 10 to 30% on their energy spend. Our average is around 17% on the spend. Very quick paybacks, really nice tool. And essentially, it bridges the gap for facilities operators of the unknown and invisible issues that they have. And we essentially quantify the energy savings from each measure, allow them to have really actionable insight into that data, and then they can start to optimize their buildings.
So I think where NV5's method of delivering a digital twin to a client, it's not just a cool 3D model. We're providing the client with an actual ROI from the building analytics side. So some of the trouble that we have is trying to get clients on board with what is a digital twin. When we talk to the kind of CFO level, all we need to mention is the ROI, and the digital twin kind of plays in itself.
Before I jump into Scan to BIM, I'm curious about how difficult it is to build a digital twin.
I think the answer to that it depends. If it's an existing building, it's a little bit more challenging. We go out, we scan the building, we create a Revit model. The ultimate question we always ask a client like that is, what do you want to use the model for? How do you want to help that operate your facility? Because the level of detail that we gather might have changed that digital twin. Once that Revit model's built, it's actually quite simple. We import that into Tandem. Tandem imports all of the information that we've put into the Revit model, and then it's just a matter of connecting our data from our platform into Tandem. Now, that is a little bit more challenging. I think there's some clever API stuff that happens in the background that allows us to do that, but there's a lot of value in that. Without the data, you just have a 3D model that's interactive. You don't really have anything that provides tons of value. By pushing that data from our analytics platform into Tandem, we're really able to provide that ROI to a client.
Yeah, and there's a big difference we're seeing between existing retrofit projects and new construction. So some of the projects we're doing, their drawings are from the 1960s, 70s. So they need to go to square one to build their building. So like Dan was saying, full laser scan of everything, get the geometry developed, get the information in the BIM model. But with a new construction, what we're seeing, and Windover is doing this with Daimler's oversight, is the construction handover process where that heavy lift is already done by the construction team. So then that Tandem model can be handed over to the owner and we can come in with the analytics side and start pushing data to that.
So I have a scan-to-BIM background also, and when I'm talking to AEC firms right now or consultants, a lot of them are talking about how it might not be lucrative for clients to build a digital twin and go through the scan-to-BIM process. What would you say to them? Because from my perspective, if they understand their building systems better, they can be saving that money in the long run by operating their building more efficiently, understanding when systems are going to break. But I'm curious what your take is on that.
Yeah, so 100% agree. A lot of the trouble we have is if we present a scan-to-BIM service without the digital twin as a package. So if the digital twin is not involved, scan-to-BIM is a capital investment. It's not an operational investment. So we're going to use it for construction, for design. After that, scan-to-BIM, the life cycle ends. So they just have a BIM model sitting on one of their network folders and they never look at it. But when we bring in the building analytics side, the digital twin, it's a lot easier for a potential customer to see the payback that it gives. And then at that stage, the scan-to-BIM is just kind of a wash.
I think there's a lot of value in doing a scan-to-BIM project. We've got a few clients who are doing it as part of renovations, tenant improvements. And you're able to eliminate a lot of risk out of the construction process by doing a scan-to-BIM project. So while some people might think it's expensive, I mean, the feedback we're getting is that it's quite cost effective compared to sending out an engineer to do a traditional survey. The amount of risk that you're able to eliminate out of that construction project by knowing exactly what's in position, quantifying, how much pipe you need to put in, whatever it might be, where you're connecting the valves, it allows that project to run a bit smoother. And then if you're just doing it for a digital twin, being able to get that information, have it really accurate, allows the facilities operators to basically know what's happening inside their building, really get a deep dive into it, and then make the data that you're pushing to the twin be more accurate, more true to the reality of the situation.
So I'm curious what you're seeing with the digital twin and sustainability and energy currently. How are you helping clients be more sustainable and have energy savings?
So having a digital twin with live data informs design teams of what they're designing to. So traditionally, an engineer goes to a building and we talk to the facilities team. They give us a general idea of how much chilled water we have, how much air we have. And at best, it's a very good estimate. At worst, it's just a rule of thumb. So in terms of energy savings, design teams are not very well equipped to provide energy savings to a client. Having actual real-time data of how the facility is run informs future designs and renovations, so the engineers can meet whatever sustainability or energy savings goals the clients have.
I think what we've found with the digital twin is, without focus on energy and trying to provide an ROI, you kind of just have a model that can be used for a lot of things. I'm not going to discount the capabilities that Tandem has. The ability to pull up an operations manual or the ability to look at design drawings so you can interrogate your building, very helpful. But where we're seeing lots of value is being able to optimize for energy, being able to reduce a client's energy consumption by 15-20%. It's quite incredible, especially now with rising cost of gas as an example. I mean, we've saved some of our clients 12% of their energy or gas spend in 4 months. So being able to push that information, have that hosted in the digital twin is really nice capability.
Thank you both for joining me today. It's been really insightful. It was a great conversation. I want everybody to stay tuned for more information on stories coming out between NV5 and Tandem in the future, so hang tight for that. But thank you both so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.